Oxford. That was until one lesson in 2017 when he praised a group of female students on their hard work. Well, one of the girls identifies as a transgender boy. And this week, in the first case of its kind in the UK, Joshua Sutcliffe was banned from every classroom in England for not using the pupils' preferred pronouns. Mr. Sutcliffe said he apologised immediately and is being persecuted because of his Christian beliefs. And he joins me now. Well, thank you for coming on, Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Thank you.
Joshua looks like the most adorable guy. Nice and neat and tidy. I mean, looks like a nice guy.
Piers.
Just tell me exactly what happened.
Well, it was the TRA hearing in recent months, and the principal reason that they banned me from every classroom in the UK, as you mentioned, was for refusing to use the pronouns that a particular student wanted to.
So what did you actually say? You called the group girls?
Yeah, it was two girls at the front of the class, and one of them identified as a boy. And I agree with the policy exchange report recently released by the government, where it says that, you know, we're letting down a generation of young people, affirming them in these, you know, dispositions. You know, in the UK, you need a gender recognition certificate, and that is post-18. And so it really is a serious issue, and it's affecting schools across the nation. And so
I mean, we're seeing a lot of kids now identifying as something other than their biological sex. What do you think of that phenomenon?
Well, I think it's really something our society should be taking much more seriously.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, so this bloody far left people, huh? Wronged a nice guy. I mean, what did he do wrong? Not a big deal.
You know, it's a path, these students go down a path of taking very strong drugs and surgery, and
Joshua doesn't exhibit any kind of a toxic masculinity, like what they refer to as from the far left. Like, no, he doesn't what do you call, interfere when Piers talks, or he doesn't have any passionate views on anything like that. Joshua seems like a genuinely sweet guy at this point.
it's something that shouldn't be so quickly brought into classrooms across the country, and it's happening everywhere, as you've seen in the news reports, not just for me, but for other teachers.
So you called these two students girls. One of them was a transgender boy by her own, or his own definition, whichever you want to say it, right? This is at a time, this is, 5, 6 years ago, when this issue wasn't anywhere near as prevalent as it is now. Did you realise immediately this might be a problem?
I wasn't really savvy. I didn't know about the issue as we've come to know about it. And, but at the time, with my Christian convictions, I thought it an appropriate stance to, just use the...
Even at this point, I was like, what have we done to today's men as a society? He looks like a genuine person with Christian beliefs, and look at us. Just for being Christian, this guy is suffering this.
Student's name.
And what happened to you?
The school sort of took a case against me, and it's ended out all the way at the...
What were you accused of doing?
Accused of using the wrong pronouns.
Literally?
Literally, yeah. Accused of using the wrong pronouns. And that was actually the principal reason that the Department of Education used against me, that I refused to use the pronouns. So really quite a shocking and sad day for myself personally, but even for England, I mean,
the argument that was put forward against you was that you should treat all pupils with dignity and respect, and if they're identifying in a different way, then you should feel mandated to do that.
Well, I think the safeguarding of the pupil is paramount in this situation, and if you affirm these students...
Even at this point, I was like, what a man, what a genuine guy. He cares more about England than anyone does.
In their gender identity, then that could lead them down a path that maybe one day they will regret. And maybe it's something that we should think about, leaving for adults to decide, rather than such young students going down this path.
See, on this, I'm kind of sympathetic to what you're saying about that issue, that the pronoun misgendering and so on, with so many kids now following what I think in most cases is just a fad. Why should people have to change their language?
Exactly. Joshua is a nice, genuine guy. I feel very sorry for Joshua. That's what I felt even at this point.
To accommodate what seems to be just a fad. The complication, I think, in your case is that you have very strong Christian beliefs, or I would say beliefs that pertain to your religion. Would you?
Nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with having strong Christian beliefs? It's one of the few religions that we have in the world. It's okay, perfectly normal. That's what I thought even at this point.
Accept that?
I accept that, Piers, yeah.
So you have 4 abominations on your website, for example.
Yes.
Abortion, homosexuality, porn, and Islam.
Yes.
Wait, what? That's exactly what I thought when I watched this video the first time at this point. Let's continue to listen to what Joshua has to say.
You call them abominations.
Yes.
Is it right? Well, I mean, when I read that, I was like, hang on. Is it right that any teacher should be teaching kids if they call those 4 things abominations?
Well, you understand, Piers, those things happened outside of the classroom. You know, that's my own
I
personal...
understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But in one case, it was cited that you had, for example, on the...
Okay, outside the classroom, makes sense, right? He's not bringing that into the classroom. Fine. That's a reasonable argument.
The issue of gay marriage, you'd said to kids in the class that it should be between a man and woman.
Yeah, a student asked me about my conviction, and that was what I said, that marriage should be between a man and a woman. But, you know, the Bible very clearly describes many things as sinful and as not good things for us. And
Well, the Bible also tells you to stone people for various offences, and we don't do that anymore. I mean, the point is...
Well, we all deserve...
I mean, look, I'm a Catholic, but I wouldn't use language like these are all abominations, particularly when a lot...
I'm a Catholic. I'll show you the comments in a couple of minutes. It's even funny.
A lot of people in this country are now gay, obviously. You think that that's abominable.
Yes.
And that's fine. It's your prerogative.
I'm having a feeling he's trying really hard to control this laugh. I don't know why. Even some of the comments have pointed out that. I'll show you guys.
To have that opinion. But there will be people who think, well, hang on, these are pretty hardcore views of someone who wants to teach young children.
I understand that people might disagree with me, Piers, but that's a pretty orthodox Christian view to think that these things are sinful and not good.
I don't know any Christian.
I actually genuinely feel this dude is some kind of a troll. He's trying really hard to control his laugh. He's genuinely trolling Piers Morgan. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. That's all I'm trying to say. Joshua, don't do this to Piers, Joshua. Don't.
To say Islam is an abomination. I mean, I know some, but they're not. It's not orthodox.
Well,
that's not orthodox Christian teaching.
Of course, it's standard Christian teaching, you know, to not agree with Islam, and you know, to...
It's not that it's an abomination, another religion. There's respect for Islam.
Well, I respect Muslims very much, Piers, but...
You don't. You call their religion an abomination.
We must separate...
See what he says?
Great ideas from people, Piers.
What?
She must separate ideas from people. What a profound thing to say, isn't it?
Oh, hang on. Listen, on your website, you say Islam is an abomination. That's not respecting a religion.
Well,
It's the opposite of respecting a religion.
No, I disagree very much with Islam, Piers.
That's fine. It's entirely your prerogative. I'm just saying that if you want to be a teacher, is it compatible with being a teacher to have a personal website which lists a series of abominations, including the right to be gay, the right to have an abortion, legal pornography. Islam, another massive religion, 1.5 billion people. It just seems to me if I was a parent at that school and I read that on your website, I would be concerned.
Well, I think it's up to parents to look these things up if they want to, but all parents that I've had interactions with would say that I'm a very respectable man and I'm always did the job at hand. But I think in our free society, you'd think that I'd be able to share those things outside the classroom.
You now go into the street and you talk. Let's watch a little clip of what you do.
That there is of this
Young kid. I'm not sure I'd feel that comfortable about having a teacher of my young kid who's out there doing that every weekend.
You know, it's pretty orthodox Christian beliefs that I'm...
It's fine, but you're a teacher
Makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that.
out there
I know.
basically ranting away on the street. It wouldn't lend itself to most parents to think that that is entirely compatible with teaching kids.
Well, you'd have to see me in the classroom, Piers. I'm a good practitioner.
When were you last in a classroom?
Well, 3 or 4 years ago now.
Do you want to teach again?
I'd love to teach again. I enjoy teaching. My dad's a teacher, and
What does your dad make of all this?
he supports me. Yeah. Yeah.
Does he agree with all your views?
Well, he's a Christian himself, Piers. He was an RE.
Yeah.
He was an RE teacher for 30 years.
But does he agree that all these things are abominations?
Well, Piers, this is biblical teaching. It shouldn't be a surprise to you or anyone else that.
No, but like I said,
So, despite all of that, even at this point, I was like, okay. So, if that's what teaches, that's what the Bible teaches, makes sense. It's not a sin to be Christian. In fact, it is like one of the most followed religion in the world. What's wrong with being Christian, Orthodox Christian, for that matter?
the Bible also teaches people to stone people to death. But we don't do that.
Well,
in
that's the
civilized places anymore.
That's the penalty for sin, Piers. But
at this point, I was like, wait, what?
Jesus.
So for adultery, you would.
Jesus died on the
Well,
cross
just to
and
clarify,
rose.
then, for adultery, you think it's right to stone people to death,
I think that
as they do in
all-
Saudi Arabia, for example. Do you?
all sin deserves the death penalty, and Jesus.
So adultery is a sin.
Let me finish, please.
Hang on. Is adultery a sin?
It's an important point.
Is adultery a sin?
Jesus died on the cross for sinners.
Is it?
He took the place
Joshua,
of sin.
is adultery a sin?
Yes.
So you want to execute everyone who's committed adultery?
All sin, all 613
Do you?
commandments, all sin is punishable by death.
Right. Joshua, that's nuts, mate.
And that's what the Bible
And that's the
teaches.
problem, you see.
Piers.
You start off, you had me at the start.
he had everybody understand. And I have a feeling Joshua came to the show just to troll people.
You had me about the pronoun issue because I think it's incredibly complicated. I also have a big concern about numbers.
He's laughing. That dude is laughing. That's why I'm saying it probably is a troll.
For kids who are basically putting their hands up saying, I'm a woman, I'm a girl, I'm a boy when they're not, and so on. But this stuff is nuts, mate. If you're going to say that everyone who's a sinner by the rule of the Bible has to be killed, there's no one left.
Deserves the
There's only you left, and I don't feel comfortable about a world
I'm
with
not
only
ending me.
Joshua Sutcliffe alive.
Don't be silly. I am the worst of sinners, Piers.
Well, why are you still alive?
Because Christ has died for sinners.
Huh?
He took the place.
Yeah, but by your yardstick, you should be executed.
Yes, I should be.
Who by?
God, he's the judge of all.
No, but you're gonna go and submit yourself for execution, or
No, but Jesus is. It's called penal substitution.
Huh?
It's called. It's a theological point.
it's Joshua? It's nuts. mate.
It's the substitution of Christ for sinners, Piers.
Joshua, it's nuts.
And
And unfortunately,
you feel that.
when you talk that way, it disqualifies you in my eyes from being a teacher. Not the pronoun stuff. On that, I'm with you. On this stuff, it's nuts.
But we should be in a free society, Piers.
Totally. And you're, by the way, allowed to have as many nutty views as you like. I just don't
That's
think.
nutty in your opinion. I think your opinion
No,
is nutty.
in 99% of the entire planet, your views are nutty.
In your world, maybe, but not.
People
in the
don't
world
think
at
that
large,
everyone who
Piers.
commits adultery should be executed tomorrow.
No, this is what the Bible teaches.
Greed, gluttony, all those things.
Sin is sin.
So anyone's greedy gets executed. Anyone who's gluttonous gets executed. Have too many donuts. Joshua Sutcliffe says you wheeled off to the
That's what the Bible teaches.
to be put to death.
And this isn't really being taught in our generation.
No, there's a reason it's not taught in our generation.
Christ is a perfect sacrifice for sin.
Yes.
Joshua, don't do this to Piers.
No, Jesus Christ did sacrifice himself. But you don't think Jesus Christ will be sitting here today at my desk saying every single person who commits an act of greed or gluttony or adultery should be summarily executed. If you do think that, you have a very warped idea of what actually the Bible is supposed to mean.
No, I think what's happened is you've got your own view of what the Bible says, but you haven't really ever been told what the Bible says.
I've read the Bible. I was actually given spiritual guidance by Catholic nuns when I was 11 years old for a couple of years. So I'm very, very, very savvy with the Bible. But honestly, when I hear people say that for all these sins you've got to be put to death, it's nuts. So for that, you shouldn't be teaching.
Well, Christ has taken our place, Piers, and I think I should be...
Well, unfortunately, someone from YMCA is about to take your place on the show, I'm afraid, and that's it. But good to see you. Thank you, Joshua Suck.
Joshua, don't do this, man. Don't do this, Piers. Stop trolling, Piers. You naughty, naughty boy.